Tennessee put Syracuse in a body bag. 45-26 was the final in this thing, but this game was way more one-sided than what the actual score shows. When I started watching this game, Syracuse was starting to make somewhat of a comeback. They almost got it within 10, but eventually Tennessee's offense started going back to what they were doing in the first quarter and putting up more points. Jory Agalore looked very impressive. Already looks miles better than what Nico Iamaleava was last year. Nico Iamaleava had a hard time hitting the deep ball last year, and he looked really timid. Jory Agalore, he's a gunslinger. He's going to sling that thing. It doesn't matter if it's in triple coverage, quadruple coverage. Jory Agalore, this dude is going to put a lot of risk behind throwing that football, and it's going to cost Tennessee some games, and it's going to win them some games. You got to feel really encouraged with what you saw out of Jory Agalore for a guy who is still fairly new to Tennessee's offense. Tennessee doesn't run an offense that you can just learn and adapt to overnight. Playing in this offense requires you to kind of relearn and reprogram yourself how to play quarterback. But Jory Agalore, the way that he was throwing these dots to Mike Williams, Chris Brazil, Tennessee is still loaded at a lot of positions. Offensive line looked really good. Defensive line still looked as good as what it was last year, despite the losses of James Pierce and some of the other better players that they had on that defense last year. They picked up it was still 2024 again. And for Tennessee this season is about proving that they no longer are in the beat. This season for Tennessee is about proving that they no longer are in the B tier of teams in the SEC. You have your elite teams, your Georgias, your Texas, your Alabamas, and then you have your B tier programs that are good enough to compete for the SEC championship and a playoff spot, but not every single year. They have to rebuild for a year or two, and then in that third season, that's when they're able to make a run, win 10 games, get to the CFP. Tennessee is trying to change that narrative, though. Tennessee believes that they are in that elite of the SEC in terms of teams that don't have to rebuild. They just simply reload. We're about to find out just how true that belief is, because the way they smoked Syracuse shocked me, because I thought Syracuse would have been able to at least keep this a 10-point game. I took Syracuse plus 13.5. They're one of the better non-Big Ten SEC programs in college football right now with how much of a rising star that their head coach is. But there was just a clear, obvious talent mismatch between Tennessee and Syracuse from start to finish. And I got to correct myself. I called that receiver earlier Mike Williams. His name is Mike Matthews. I need to get that right. If you corrected me already in the comments, I appreciate that. But Tennessee, man, they were smoking Syracuse orange, and they were splattering the remains of that citrus, that orange inside all over Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think for Tennessee moving forward this year, the questions more so aren't about the defense. It's more so it's going to be about, can this offense continue to have the success that they had against Syracuse for the remainder of this season? Can you see Tennessee put up 38, 40 points against an Alabama, a Georgia defense? Because that's what's going to decide this season for Tennessee. You got a defense that can still win you games, but can your offense elevate the level of play this season that they didn't have last year due to the upgrade that you have at quarterback? What about Dylan Sampson? The guy who was the heart and soul of Tennessee's team last year, the guy who had the best running back season in this program's history, the guy who was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Didn't even remember Dylan Sampson in this game. I didn't even remember that they lost Dylan Sampson with the three monster running backs that they have replacing them. I mean, that dude Peyton Lewis, oh my goodness. Has he been drug tested? He's built like Hercules at running back. Seriously, how the hell do you tackle 8 of these Tennessee running backs, they all look like they're built like Derrick Henry somewhat, like they're all 6'2", 220, 230 pounds. I mean, they were running guys the F over in this game. I was like, holy cow. Tennessee has a quarterback. They got a new offensive line that's good, and their ground game is just as good as what it was last year. Tennessee, I'm not saying that they are going to be in the playoffs this year. I'm still not bending off that prediction, but this is a team, though, that maybe they can sneak into the playoffs again with 9 wins. With how they looked against Syracuse, man, I know it's Syracuse and the SEC teams are so much better than what Syracuse is. I get that. I get that. You don't got to lecture to me in the comment section about that. But what I am proposing to you is that maybe Tennessee doesn't have to rebuild after all. Maybe they have reloaded. The guys they have reloaded with, we just don't know too much about because they haven't proven themselves. So we'll see how Tennessee looks as we progress throughout this season. But I'm interested in Tennessee. I really am.